Greetings, sir! We are Kapwa Dangal ng Bayan. Our group consists of Christiana Ignacio,
Alina Princess D. Malabana,
Mark Jimel A. Mengito,
Oliver Emmanuel C. Quiroz,
Ella May Amor C. Padua,
Ryan Claire A. Pulinar,
Chris Ryan Esravelio,
Reverend Joy R. Salasiban,
Loren Sandro B. Santos,
and Lorenzo M. Tagalog Jr.
we were assigned to create a menu-driven pet information entry program to simulate the recording and displaying of pets' details.
We started our project with two Java classes, which were Pet class and Main class. We first created a pet.java file which contains the class pet. Inside the class, we declared a public class field that will contain the input of the user for the menu. We also created a public pet constructor and object for the following overloading processes per the instruction given in the lab activity.
Constructor overloading is when you create several constructors with the same name but different parameters. In total, we created 7 pet constructors. The first one is the default constructor, while the rest contains multiple parameters. As you can see, the second pet constructor has 2 parameters inside, which are the string name and the string type. The following constructors from here have additional parameters up until all the class fields or variables are used.
After creating those constructors, we created a showDetails method with a parameter of inChoice that will show or print the user's input, which is the details of their pet. Inside the method is a switch statement that has numerous keys that will print the user's input depending on their input in the menu through the variable choice in the main.java or the main class.
On the first part of the code in main.java class, we imported a buffered reader, IO exception, and input stream reader so that the program can read the user's input and can throw an input and output exception if the user input is wrong. The program also reads bytes and then translates it into characters, or what we call binary. In addition, we declared global variables such as string for type, string for age, and string for sex. Boolean for exit CL is equated to true, so CL means child loop, and int for the age that is equated to 0. After the global variable declaration, we created an object named buffered reader so that the program can read the input of the user, which is indicated in the upper part, which is the initialization of the utilities.
The entry point of the main is the public static void main, open parenthesis string, open and close brackets, args, close parenthesis, throws IO exception. We now declare the local variables which were string for name, breed, color, owner's name, int for choice, and boolean for exit PL that is equated to true. PL means parent loop. We first print the name of our shop, which is Welcome to the Paws and Claws shop. So once we run the program, the name of our shop will be on top. For the body of code, we use the do while loop. Do while will execute first the body before the condition. Inside the do while loop, there's another do while loop, which is the child loop. The parent loop, on the other hand, has the menus such as pet name and type, pet name, type and breed, pet name, type, breed and color, pet name, type, breed, color and age, pet name, type, breed, color, age and sex, pet name, type, breed, color, age, sex and owner's name, and exit.
The child loop handles errors like when a user input a number that is not from 1 to 7. It will show the phrase, please choose between the options. But when a user input a string, invalid input will appear and the program will let the user choose again between the options. Let's go now to the whole parent loop. On the while loop of the parent loop, we use the if-else conditional statement. The conditions of on if-else are the preconditions of cases. The choices is the equated to buffered reader, so it will be the data storage of the user input.
The user can choose to enter a number from 1 to 7. When the user chooses number 1, program will ask the user to enter a pet name that he or she desires. After entering the name, the program will ask again about what type of pet he or she wants. When the user chooses number 2, the program will ask the user the pet's name and what type of pet. After entering the name and type of pet, the program will ask to enter a pet breed.
When the user chooses the choice tree, the program will ask the user for its pet's name, pet type, pet breed. And after asking for the user's pet name, pet type, and pet breed, the program will also ask for the pet color. And when the user chooses the choice 4, the program will ask the user for its pet's name, pet type, pet breed, and pet color. And after asking the user for its pet's name, pet type, pet breed, and pet color, the program will also ask the user about its pet's age.
When the user chooses 5, the program will ask the user the pet's name, type, breed, color, and age. After entering the pet's name, type, breed, color, and age, the program will ask about the sex, if the pet is male or female. When the user chooses 6, the program will ask the user the pet's name, type, color, breed, age, and sex. After entering the pet's name, type, breed, color, age, and sex, the program will ask about the owner's name. When the user chooses 7, the program will show the phrase thanks and the loop will end.
Validation is an essential matter in a program, as this can be used as a debugging tool in a way that it checks for the user input if it's correct and can be read by the program. This can prevent errors if the user input is wrong. For security reasons, this is a form of measuring the security to prevent doing unwanted tasks as people would like to input upon running the program.
We used Java exception here as this handles wrong input such as try-catch was executed in the code. To explain this further, the try statement tests for the errors during the execution, while the catch statement is a code executed if there are errors occurred during the execution of the try statement.
The try statement here checks if the user input can be parsed into int as the system is asking for user input that is an integer. Furthermore, the user is only allowed to enter a number not lower than 1. Else, persist an error message telling the user it is an invalid input that will be printed in the program.
We input a method that checks for the validity of the pet type. If the user input is invalid and the choice is not available among the choices, then the program tells the user that the input is invalid. If the input is true, the program will print the chosen pet type, in this case, a dog or a cat.
Furthermore, this also validates the pet's age and sex. Also, the program will not accept the user input if it is not among the 7 choices, as there is a validation inside the program.
And that concludes the presentation of our prelims project for week 5 in object-oriented programming.
We are Kapwa
Dangal.
Bayan.
Thank you for watching.